My paintings have to do with self-exploration. It's not so much about cultural identity as it was in the past. I do inject my culture through this character. It's a monkey, and that refers back to when my dad came to the United States and there was a lot of racism for immigrants, so they called Filipinos monkeys. So I've appropriated that character and I use it in my artwork. But over the years, because I did like looking at comic books, underground comics, and like Hot Rod Magazine, Cartoon, C-A-R-T-O-O-N. It was a cartoon magazine. So I'd looked at some of the characters, and Ed Roth had these monsters. So as I was growing up, I created all these weird characters, and those characters have kind of followed me to the present, which I use in my work. The self-exploration part in my work comes out as this visual, psychological landscape. Through my paintings, I'm interested in exploring not so much this world out here, but what happens when I relate to this world and then create these, I guess I could call them psychological issues in my head. I put them in my paintings, and as I introduce them into the artwork, they start to speak to each other to me, so there's this narrative that develops. I also use brick walls, these weird objects that I just happen to create spontaneously. And there's also this veiling of the paint that occurs through the process. So to me, that's a place where these characters have to try and navigate, much like I'm trying to navigate this, this life. When I came to Bemis, I actually was hoping that I could accomplish the series of paintings that I thought about because of the political situation that's going on right now. The paintings were about racial, sexual, and gender slurs. I didn't know what that would look like, but I kind of had this vague idea. So I'm coming to Bemis with this idea, and once I hit the ground, built my stretchers and the canvases, it was very difficult for me to actually take that idea and create a painting. I tried it on one painting. It's a gray painting with a skull, and it just didn't seem to work. I kept painting, and I think because of the space at Bemis, I was able to create quite a bit of work, and a lot of it is because when I have a space like I had here, which was the largest space, I think it was 2,200 square feet, I was able to work on a painting, and if I got stuck, I was able to move to the next painting. So some of the images carried over from one piece to the next. I felt like through the conversations with my cohorts, especially those that were sculptors and installation artists, I was able to start thinking about ways to take my images and leave the two-dimensional surface on the wall and create a space for them out here. Because Okada has such a large range of equipment, woodworking and metal, I took a small workshop with Josh to learn how to MIG weld, and I thought it would be harder, and I actually did pretty good at it. So I started drawing with the MIG welder. I created this piece that was like a tripod that came off the walls. I was breaking that traditional wall hanging. It may still hang on the wall, but it wasn't like my traditional paintings. So that opened up a whole new world because I had these metal pieces that came off the wall, and then I would hang drawings on top of them. I started thinking about other materials that I could introduce. So it was like, gosh, this whole new world for me, you know? And I could take that when I go home and create a whole different body of work. I'm really excited about my experience here at Bemis and how it's affected my not only my process, but how I need to interact more with artists when I get home and create some dialogue. And I actually met with Weston at the, he works in partnership with the Jocelyn Museum. I spoke with him about how to create a mentoring program when I go back for high school kids. It sounds like a lot more than probably I could undertake, but if I could start at some level, something really small, and then maybe grow it, I'd like that to happen. It's one way that I could probably give, as an artist, give back to the community.